Well, hello, and welcome back. I'm AJ O'Neill. This is Beyond Code Live, I guess, or no, this is just a hangout. I don't know. I don't know what I title these things. The B is for Beyond Code Live. That's when I do that tutorial videos mostly. But anyway, here we are, and what I have is a project to essentially migrate this project's Trello to GitHub. And so, let's see. First of all, hello, welcome everybody. Nice to see you again. Feel free to say hello or whatever. We're hanging out. You can ask me questions and stuff. And if at any point any of this is useful, you learn something, whatever, give it a like, sub if you want to, whatever. Check out the description for related and unrelated links. And we'll have a word from our sponsor, but not really our sponsor, in just a moment. But first, so I think I'm gonna go through what I think this process is going to look like. And I just like to draw with squares. You can see that half the time there's nothing there. But it just helps me. No, I don't want to do that. Let's go back. New design file. Okay, I should probably title these things. So Trello to GH projects. Let's call this that. All right, so what I'm expecting is, of course, as per usual, we've got a couple of rectangles, because we always need rectangles whenever we have a project. And this is Trello. Trello is going to have a bunch of other rectangles, because it's kind of got some stuff here. Let's go ahead and there's a Trello card. And let's make a bunch of those if we can. Yeah, so Trello is a thing that manages cards. So we're going to have some cards. And there's going to be some sort of API for managing these cards. And then GitHub's going to have a similar API for managing its cards. And what I am to do then is to figure out how to make the cards that are here on Trello then appear over here on GitHub. And I think that this could be actually this might not be a lot of code. This seems like something somebody else would have done, right? So I need to verify an existing script that does the export that just saves this into a database. Oops, then I don't want line, I want arrow. So here's our arrow. So we're going to pull this out into a database. Now, by database in this particular case, what I'm thinking and hoping is that we're really just talking about a JSON file. We shall see. Let's go ahead and add a stroke to that, This is my database. Let's put that one on top. And then sometimes I like to draw a little line between them, but there's our database. And then we're going to have to do what I think is going to happen here is there's going to have to be some manipulation that goes on. So I'm going to say that there's actually going to be 3 copies of this database here. And I'll explain that in just a second. And then we're going to have our bloop, bloop, bloop. Let's say this thing goes like that. So basically, there's some information that's going to be able to be transferred easily, and some information that's not going to be able to transfer easily. So the actual data in here, the words, is probably going to transfer pretty easily. There might be attachments, images, links, hypermedia, as it were. There's going to be names of people to link, a person from here to there. There might be cross references to other issues. So there's just the text of, hey, here's what we need, and the markdown perhaps is going to be hopefully pretty easy to get down here. But then we might have to get some more information. We may have to go look up user IDs. I don't think we're going to do that right now. And then so we might have to transform this in some way to get useful information in a format that has the more complete picture of the information. And then we may have to transform that again into the way that GitHub likes to look at that same information and then put it up. And then in some future iteration, we may try to figure out, do some manual data entry and say, okay, this user ID links to this user ID, or this username links to this username, and this media type links to this media type, and so on and so forth. So that's about what I think that we're going to need to do for this to be successful. Let me see what the card here says. Yeah, so there's an existing Trello to database migration script. That should give me a good idea of maybe what they thought was important the first time around. We got some informal notes. I don't know what claim source means exactly. And yeah, and then we're streaming this. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is something's actually a little bit funky with my computer right now. So I'm going to quit Brave and just restart it again, because I've quit just about everything else and restarted it because I noticed that while the stream was starting up that my GPU usage is unusually high for nothing actually had been going on yet. So let me restart that, and then comments will come back up. Oh, is it all coming up? I think it's all coming up. And then I'm probably going to have some video start playing. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's probably going to play some video. Let me see if I can stop that before it starts. You're probably going to hear 10 different YouTube videos start up that I have in tabs waiting to be played. Let's see. Miraculously, no. I don't know how that worked out. Okay. Okay. System seems a little bit more responsive now. Must have been some tab just hanging on to a GPU thread or something. Anyway. Okay. And then we've got Ryan, who is commissioning this work, is on the stream. He's going to point me in the right direction if I start to go in the wrong direction. But let's just go ahead and get started. But before we do, of course, a word from our sponsor, but not really our sponsor, Mr. Mountain Dew. Pop top, my friends, because it is time to open focus. And I need this. Because it's not that late, but I didn't, as much as I caught up on sleep this weekend, I didn't quite catch up on enough. You know, you gotta get the right caffeination, hydration, sleep ratio, and I'm a little bit off. Anyway, so let's go ahead. Trello to database migration script. Let's see what is already in the works. All right, it's JavaScript. We've got no README. That makes me sad. Okay. There's a rap song called The Hip Hopopotamus and the Rhinoceros, something like that. And one of the lyrics is, if you rap like me, then you don't get paid. If you rap like me, then you don't get laid. I say the same for people that don't do documentation. I hope this person didn't get paid. I hope that you didn't get paid. Maybe I shouldn't be that mean. I'm going to be able to figure out what's going on here to some degree, I'm sure. Okay, so... yeah, so Ryan, we're going to need to rotate that key there because that is the private API key. So, yeah, we'll need to rotate that. I am sure, unless it's a read-only key. But we'll have to see. You'll have to go take a look at that in your API settings because I don't have access to that and figure out what this key is. But thankfully, nobody's done any damage to the Trello yet. And you know, maybe it's a read-only key, maybe it's a public key. Custom work field type ID, custom work field. I have no idea what this is, but I'm assuming I'll find that out in the documentation. It looks like most of these start with the same things. So these might be ULIDs because it looks like they end differently. So this may be a combination of timestamp is half of it and then random data is the other half. Everything seems to begin with this up to F3. After that, it looks like it gets different. No, okay, not even. So 5FA, everything starts with 5FA. Oh, until here. So I wonder what that is. Anyway, we've got members. Okay, and we get to query what we want to get from them. That's great. So one thing that I recommend doing when you're doing this sort of thing is whatever documentation you were looking at when you created the script, add a comment with that. When I was doing the PayPal stuff, you might have noticed that I did this quite a bit. It's really helpful so that the next person, when they decide, oh, I need to change these options, they have a link to the URL, and it might be broken by that time. All right, we've got something that's going to Mongo. And I would imagine that this probably isn't up, but there we've got the username and the password. Maybe this was just a test one, but yeah, username and password's in here. So it's probably Maybe should have been put some of the stuff put somewhere private. Oh well. Let's see. Vilarn, Happy New Year to you, man. I haven't seen you in forever. Where have you been? Yeah, so this is new client work. This is being commissioned by the Dash Incubator. If you missed some of the prior streams, they sponsored a couple videos for me to do a merchant integration with them. Really, it was a trick. Not quite a trick, but it was a user experience study, and I was the guinea pig. And I kind of knew that, but I didn't quite know I didn't quite know that they kind of knew that I wasn't going to be able to accomplish the task, or that it was unlikely. But that's going to come back around. But they need their Trello board migrated to GitHub projects. So that's what this is about. Okay, random colors. That's cool. Might want to do something. Okay. So this is good in that this is documented. So there's protocol, there's domain name, blah, 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 blah. However, the better way to do this, there's a couple things here. One, I don't know when this was created. 2021? Yeah. So the better way to validate if a URL is valid is just to call new URL. That would be the better way to do this. And I do not recommend writing regex that is this long. If your regex is this long, I'd say break it into different parts. Obviously, some people disagree with me, but I do not believe in long regex. You'll notice whenever I do regex. So to me, this one right here alone would be at the point where if I had to do it that long, if I had to, I might. But any longer than that, I want to say, okay, let's see how we can break this into smaller pieces and code. If this matches, then do this. If that matches, then do that. So I guess that's cool, but we actually have a nicer way to do that. Okay, there's actually a better way to do this too. This is cool though. This is really cool. I'm glad that he thought about this and found out that this was a problem. But we actually have a better way to do this too now. If only I could remember what it is. I posted about it somewhere. It is part of the... it's part of the Unicode APIs, and I don't know if it's part of the browser or part of JavaScript, but we basically have a way to map these without the symbols on them, to strip the symbols off of them. I don't know if that's actually going to be necessary, but that's really cool that this person thought of that, probably because they're bilingual or something, or just really smart that way. Because people that are bilingual, they think about these things, whereas those of us that just speak English, we don't think about those things. All right, task type, specification task, production task. Yep, okay, we're just getting types here. Get members, get cards. So this looks pretty simple. I wouldn't put this in Mongo. I'd just put this in JSON because I could be wrong, but I don't think this is big enough to warrant a real database. Let's see. I don't know how many hundreds of these things there are. It doesn't look like there's that many hundreds of them. Maybe there's archived. There is, but this looks like a manageable number that could just go into a JSON file. All right. Process custom fields. I want to figure out what these are about. Deprecated custom fields. Get rating. All right, so we got a lot of information coming down. Do we have any information going up? Okay, so there's a lot of good stuff in here. I don't know exactly what all of it is, but I can tell that just from some of the names of the functions and the kind of stuff that I see, he's taken this stuff apart, parsing it, trying to break everything down into the best metadata. So that's good. Trying to... Okay, because I guess there's a standard way of putting things on here. Let's see. Oh, whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Trello, let's see. GitHub, incubator, move it. Is this a standard way of... oh gosh. What are we looking for here? All right. Okay. So this is just a convention in the Dash Incubator community. So he's parsing out that information. I wonder why though, because that's going to go over to GitHub just fine. Well, I don't know what this script was originally intended for. Insert users. Y'all know how I feel about big try catches. See, and then at the end, console.log error. Indenting all that code. All right, get members. Okay, so this is because this was from the previous project wasn't to use GitHub projects. It was to build a management system. That was the previous project. That's why all of this is being parsed so meticulously, is because this was going to be there was going to be bounties and all this different, all these tagging systems were going to be implemented in the other project management tool. Okay, that makes sense. Let me check comments here. Took a break from work digital world and was in the countryside. That's so good. I'm glad to hear it. Internet was sketchy, which was a good thing. Yeah, agreed. It's nice to take a break and just, yeah, agreed. Okay, I'm going to guess that these, you know what I'm going to say about these if-else's right here. I don't even need to say it. Unless I do, which is don't if-else nest things a million times. Return. Yeah, maybe, I can't, I mean, I'm not reading this too closely. I'm just scanning. This might be one of the exceptions to the rule. Probably not, but there is a certain level of hierarchy here that might make sense, that it's reasonable to not reduce this. Probably not, though. Let's see. All right, so I kind of get what this is in terms of lots of parsing information and trying to get it into a new database format. So I think that if nothing else, this is going to be useful for getting the tasks and getting the member data, which is the two things that I was saying back over, where is it here? This is where the Figma was. I was saying that we might have to pull once to get all the cards and pull again to get all the members and then put it together. And this is doing a lot of that work. So I don't know that I'm going to use this explicitly, but I think I'm going to run it maybe and see what kind of stuff happens. And then this is always weird to me. Finally just doesn't make sense to me, period. Because you just put it after you do try, catch, and ignore. Right? Well, whatever. Whatever. That's nitty thing. All right. Cool. So this is good. This gives me a sense of what we're trying to do. It's really cool, the level of detail. What I'm kind of confused about is this seems like it's something that would belong in the Trello API. I'm a little confused about this. So I want to take a look at this again, and I want to see if any of this means anything in the Trello API itself. Process custom fields. Are custom fields. So we have custom fields in here. Is that what this is saying? So we have, I don't really know how Trello works that well, to be honest. So do we custom fields? Here we are. That's why. So this has arbitrary information, and this is probably unique across Trello. And it probably is exactly what I said. This is date information. And some of these things these custom fields were created on the same day, and some of them were created later. These are probably ULIDs, essentially, where part of it is, they could be complete timestamps, but probably part of it's timestamp, part of it is random. And this is how Trello makes sure that they can allow fast writes to their database with the timestamp part, and then keep track of the individual fields with the random part. That's just a guess. But this, okay, here's what the custom fields are. So we're trying to get the custom field information. Now I wonder how he found that out. I wonder if I just look at this, am I going to see custom field information if I just refresh? Oh, look at that, ladies and gents. We are approaching 10 seconds in, 8 seconds in, 17 megabytes. Oh, 11 seconds in, almost 18 megabytes. That is insane. This is a web app that loads squares. It loads squares and text. Holy cajoles. And we need 18 megabytes to do that. I guess there's some pictures. Okay. But it's 5 kilobytes, 6 kilobytes. It's not the pictures that's doing it. Okay. Batch, context, screen. What the heck is this? Oh, is this, you know what this might be? This may not be related to Trello. This might be related to some sort of analytics or some such. Let me see if I can, first of all, let's bring this out all the way. You've just been staring at this gray part of the screen. I totally haven't been paying attention to that. Hey, welcome. I'm AJ. Would love to know who you are, what brings you to the channel tonight. Okay. Let's see, what can we look at? We want to look for probably JSON, hopefully. I just want to see if I can get a sense of, okay, this is, that's not the type that I'm looking for. Do we have a protocol scheme, set cookies, connection ID, method? We don't have a content type. Do y'all see a content type? Let's just reset the columns to the way they normally would be. Okay, there we're resetting the columns. And we really don't have, so here it says PNG, this says fetch. What does that mean? Okay, so if it says fetch, it's probably JSON. All right, so here's me and my boards and stuff. There's my notifications. So a bunch of me stuff, but what about this? Okay, so these are boards. Oh, so it's loading everything that I might ever do, it looks like. Okay, products. What? Premium features. Interesting. Okay. ID. Let's see if anything else has that ID in it. Let's just do a search here. So if you do Command F and you search in there, sometimes it's not super helpful, but it'll show you all of the requests that match whatever it is you're searching for. Nothing too crazy about that. So the alarm, let's have a little conversation. Tell me a little bit about your trip to the countryside. Let's see. I was hoping to be able to see a little bit more information. Memberships, premium features, products. Okay, well, I was just kind of hoping to see some of the same information to know what's going on, but I don't think I'm barking up the right tree right now, so I'm just going to get out of here. Okay. All right, so I've reviewed the migration script. Let me look at the informal notes, and I don't know what a claim source is, but I'm about to find out. For usefulness in migrating from Trello to GitHub, do initial coding stream. All right, so let's look at the informal notes here. All right. Only use REPL set. I wonder what that means. Only use REPL set. REPL, it usually means the read event, read evaluate print loop, it's when you are in a console, essentially, when you're in a scripting console. So want to move some keys and stuff into environment variables. Field stored as objects, not updated. I don't know what that means. A lot of this is super shorthand. Looked up by username rather than ID. Member activity after user deleted. Username immutable. Okay. So this is just kind of notes to self, but I get it. Bouncing put a value. IDs are 24. Can we use as object IDs in Mongo? Are all Trello usernames valid? Okay. Let's see. So we got good information here about the different fields. So I guess this is what I was saying. Hey, this could use a README. This is kind of the README. Let's see what we got on. Hey, Sassy, what's up? How you doing? And welcome to the others that are joining in right now. I'm AJ. I'd love to know what brings you to the channel tonight. Also, I'm going to check in on the Discord. Right. Yes. To do the testing. What testing? All right. Oh, and I'll go ahead and drop a link in the Discord for anybody that wants to join in on the Discord if you want to post a link or something like that. You cannot post a link on YouTube or Twitch because of the spam. I've got those disabled, but if you want to hop in the Discord and post a link there, if you want to share with something, let me know. And this is, we're coding and hanging out, so feel free to ask questions. We can go a little bit off topic. This is commissioned work, but, Ryan, who's commissioning this, actually enjoys the little tangents and stuff we go on from time to time. So it's totally cool. And just, try to keep it 5 minutes per topic or whatever, and we'll be good. Oh, bless me. Okay. So these were all the things that we wanted. Just initially look at users, blah, 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 blah. Complex, aren't accessible through cards. Okay. Request reviews completions. Huh. Interesting. Aren't accessible through the cards, but the comment and our full advisories are likely most easy solution. Allow program types. What? Bounty links.length. We could censor that. Sorry for the children that are watching the stream. Let's see. Number of actions that we don't have, don't return via API. Oh, good. Let's see what we get here. Oh, cool. And this, at first blush, this doesn't look terrible. We get cards, get card attachment, get stickers. Holy moly, lots of metadata that you can get on a card. Get boards, get membership of a board. Yeah, I think we've got most of that stuff. Batch, what is batch for? Batch requests. Oh, good. Yeah, I like that. Applications. Actions. What is an action? I don't know what an action is. Oops. What? Huh. Okay, I'll just go back here. Webhooks. Interesting. For actions that we don't return via the API, the only way to access them is via webhooks. So I'm guessing that this actions are something similar to this thing was completed. Let me just see what happens if we go here. Okay. Props to these guys. You may not have noticed, but it did a URL redirect and it landed me on the correct page. I'm always very satisfied when redirects are left in place, although it's only been 6 months. So when was this last edited? Do we have tools, view, Do we have history? File, history, document details. Yeah, so it's only been 6 months, so they better have the redirect still working. All right. Adding, removing atoms. Do we record this in activity? Comment. So these are all things that can happen. Payment address, completion. Oh, yeah, cool. That's cool. Interesting. Okay. All right, so obviously I'm not reading every word of this, but at a high level, I'm getting what this is. Huh. I don't remember what that was about. I got a message about something testing, but I don't remember what the testing was in regards to. Okay, so let's see what I have access to in terms of the Trello API key. Can I get a Trello API key? API introduction, API key, generate. I acknowledge. And I'm going to show this on the other screen. So I'm just going to show this to myself. That, I give them props for this. This is good. You can't ask for better than to have a dedicated page to get an API key. All right. Most developers will need to ask each user to authorize your application. If you're looking to build an application, you can manually generate a token. Okay, so we have API key, and when we have a token. All right, so there's my API key, and then I can generate a token. This is quite nice. So generating a personal access token, you just do the OAuth flow through the app itself. All right, that's cool. I actually really like that. And I'm giving myself access to 4 workspace boards and 6 personal boards. That's cool. So props to Trello for making this ridiculously simple. You should not send this token to an individual who asked for it via chat. I wish I could show you that. Oh, wait, I will. Give me just 1 second here. Oh, no. Dang it. Now I got to revoke it. I was worried it might open up in the wrong place. Okay, so now I need to revoke that. Let's see, how do we revoke it? Give me just 1 second here. Okay, yeah, now I need to go revoke that. How do I revoke it? I should have a link to revoking. Okay, Trello. Trello revoke token. Revoking a Trello token. Revoke OAuth tokens. What to do if your account is compromised. Visit your account settings page. Okay. Settings, notifications, suggestions, server token. Okay, so this right here. Before you go in and screw up everything that I have access to, I'm going to click revoke. Revoke. Okay, cool. So now my server token is revoked. Sweet. Now I need to go add my token again. So y'all tell me what's news. Okay, revoke token. I'm just making some notes to myself over here. I'll bring it over in just a second. You know, I just got to get through this part of being able to, well, get my token, I guess. Do I want Zapier to have access to stuff, manage your recent devices, download personal data. Ooh. Clicking this button will generate a JSON file containing your personal information stored on Trello. This includes login credentials and settings, paid account information, profile data, and board and workspace settings. So I guess that's not, because that would be really cool if I could say, hey, download JSON for this project. I'm going to Google that real quick. Trello export JSON. Let's just see what we get. Exporting data from Trello. Because that could be really cool. Export Trello from Chrome Web Store. Trello's export tools. Export as JSON. Trello has an export feature, a board menu, print and export. Oh, yeah. So, okay, is this a board on Trello? Where is it at? Is this whole thing a board? Because if this whole thing is a board, and I can just click export, yes, just how will I know? This is what I love about modern web apps. Which one of the menus is the menu that I'm supposed to be clicking on? Export, print, file. I don't know. What did it say? Board menu more. Print and export. Okay, board menu. Which is the board menu? Board menu? I don't know. Whatever. Okay. Export all boards with Trello Premium. Do we have a Trello Premium for this? What's the easiest way for me to transfer an 11 megabyte file to you? It depends. Oh gosh. I guess anyway. Okay, wait. You can export data from Trello. I'm just looking into it now, actually. Easiest way to transfer. Top right, show menu. Okay. Top right, show menu. I don't have it. But can you send an 11 megabyte file through Discord? Because that could work. Or you could send it via email. You could Dropbox it. You could AirDrop it. You could text it. Okay. And then I'm curious about this as well. 50,000 users. That's kind of big. Oh, so this is how you get around export to Excel without paying for the premium, I guess. Updated April 16, 2015. I would be highly surprised if this still works in 2022. And it looks as though maybe it's essentially been built in now, so whatever. All right. Let me know, Ryan, if you are sending that to me by some means, whatever you are sending me. Okay. Now let's take a look and see I'm just going to check migrate GitHub to Trello, or no, Trello to GitHub. I've got to think somebody's got to have done this yet. Trello to GitHub projects. Thoughtbot. Be interested to see how they do it. They do interesting things. Import GitHub issues from Trello cards using PowerShell. Oh. Let's see what we get here. Trello to projects. Organization project. Be nice if this had a little bit more information to it. Get boards, get lists, get all cards. Okay. So this is good stuff too. Yeah, I'm going to star this. Oh, only 12 stars? That's crazy. Well, it doesn't really have much in the way of documentation here. Oh, there is a demo, though. Okay. And let's see. Meh. All right, I'm going to go ahead and block the bot. All right. I'm going to check my email real quick. I haven't heard back from Ryan. Nope. Okay. Okay, and I've got my new Trello token now. All right, so I got the things I need to do. Or not the need to do. I've got the things I need to do what I need to do, I think. So is any of this GitHub? GitHub API. All right, GitHub dot authenticate, get orgs, users, get orgs, projects. Do we have any post? Get watched repos, create. Create issues, card actions. Okay, so I think the question is now for me, what is it that we want to be the first step? So I think, we could say that here's session 1 that we're in of this. We've essentially completed the high-level overview. We've looked at the landscape of what is the existing code. And, again, I went very high-level glance through that code, but that's what I needed. Needed to see kind of what's the gist of what's going on with that code. We see the landscape of possible options to be able to export out of Trello, and we kind of, I can go look specifically at the GitHub API projects, to see how we want to put this together, but create an organization project. Yeah. So we can create a project board, and then we can add issues to it. Get a project, update a project. I don't think we want that. How do we say add cards to a project, delete a project, list repository projects. Yeah, we can add repositories to a project, create a repository project. Oh, no, we don't want a repository project. We want mostly, I wish that rather than infinite scroll, that it would give me maybe if I just make this wider, it will. Let me see if oh, okay. Yeah, they're doing that thing. Okay, so here we go. That's what I really want. Get a project card, update a card, move a card, create a project card. I think when we create a project card, we can link it to an issue. Is that right? But I think we could basically take an export or take some download of some Trello data, and we could use a personal access token and then just create an organization project and see if we can get a couple of Trello cards represented in some way on a GitHub project. Okay, so it looks like I've got an email coming into me here. Hey, welcome those of you joining in. I'm AJ O'Neill. Love to know who you are, what brings you to the channel tonight. We are just doing, this is commissioned work to export from Trello and import to GitHub projects. So to migrate from one to the other. And it looks like Ryan, who is an admin, just emailed me the export data. It'd be better to not have to do exports every time. Well, so the question is this. How many times are we going to have to do exports? Because I think, if you consider the effort of doing the work to grab this data, let's see what this data looks like. I'm going to see if I can open it up in, I'm afraid to open it in Visual Studio Code. We're just going to open it up in, because Visual Studio Code is a little bit heavy-handed sometimes. It likes to use a lot of system resources that I don't really feel like it needs to use right now. So let's do this. All right, so I'm going to go to downloads dash Trello boards. What? Okay, I guess it's boards. Boards dash incubator app dash incubator app.json. All right, so 37,000 app creator cards, open per board, checklists, list cards. What is, okay. Check items. Oh, okay, so it's got checklists on here too. That's cool. I wonder if we could do a Trello API export. Because if they have that available via the API and we can just keep track of what we've pushed, just have a local cache of saying, okay, this thing with this ID, we've already pushed that up there. We'll ignore it. We'll move on to the next one. Oh. Okay, key and token. I'm just going to see if I can do this. Just like that. So what is the organization name? Is it this thing? Or is it in regards to this? Organizations. Organization name or ID. So I'm just going to see if I can take this and get that same export again. Okay, but let's open up. Let's just open up a GitHub project. I'm going to go to the root company here, and I'm just going to see if I can create a project. Projects. Let's just create one. New project. Beta. Oh, so this is a direct. Whoa. Interesting. What is this? Oh, no, I don't know what this is. Cannot be deleted. It's a spreadsheet. I like that. I like that we can view it as a spreadsheet. If I go back here and I say new project on a Kanban style board, test project A, basic Kanban, automated Kanban, bug triage, I don't know, none. Linked repositories. Let's say we'll put in auth 3000. We'll put in base 62 token. We'll put in base 62 JS just for the sake of doing it. Add a column. Try some of column A. And all of column B. I'm in the mood to help you, dude. You ain't never had a friend like me. Ba-da-da-ba-ba. All right. This is a note. Complete. Not done. Convert to issue, edit note. All right. So this is way more limited in this approach, and I don't know if we look, so here's the scary bit. Do we want to be using projects or do we want to be using beta projects? Because the idea is probably that beta projects is what is going to replace existing projects. So do we want to be working on something that's going to disappear? Okay, so I got to click here. And then I can make this board style. Okay, and then, okay, so now it's got a WYSIWYG and what's this? Oh, Markdown. Good, right? No? Oh, link. This is a link to an issue. I don't know what this is a link to. Hover. That's good. That's good. I love it when icons are not self-explanatory. All right. Okay, so now, unfortunately, we have more options than we intended to have. we can choose to do GitHub projects or GitHub projects beta. And I thought I saw something about custom fields. Yeah, I did. Okay, because if we go here, I actually think this is a better approach, honestly. The power of the spreadsheet. Microsoft knows all about it. Bounty. All right, and then what happens if we go back to look at this as a board? So we're looking at this. Do the thing with the stuff. Hardcore style. All right, I'm going to go look at comments in a second. So I like this one better. I think this is the one that we should use. All right, but where are the custom fields right now? Convert to issue, archive. I like that this has custom fields, but I don't understand how you are supposed to interact with it. Uh-oh. No code. Watch out. All right, now let me look at comments again. Yeah, we want to do GitHub projects beta. That was the impetus to the migration. Okay, cool. All right, yeah, so this looks cool. I like this. I wonder if we have API access to this. Let's see, projects beta. Do we have beta? Do we have custom fields? Custom actions. All right, well, let's just take a look at what happens. Let's look at the browser console here. Hopefully it doesn't show my API tokens and authentication and all that. I might do this on the other screen just to see what this looks like real quick. All right, so if I go here and I click new field and I say blah, I see columns. Ooh, Mimex project column. I'm taking a look. Request headers. I want to show you the request body if I can. All right, so it sends us form data. So here's what it looks like when I create a column. Let me see. It's called a Mimex. I don't know what that is. Mimex is. So I guess when I'm going to check this out real quick. GitHub Mimex's API. Huh. Interesting. So I guess they started working on this a couple of years ago, and is this internal to GitHub? All right. Let me see. Do we see Mimex here? No results found. Okay. So the problematic part of this is that is not in their API. Let me try again. GitHub Mimex's API. No, we already looked for this, right? So I would think we probably can get this into GitHub. I don't know if we can do it. I think the way that we would do it is essentially I'd copy and paste the cookie. I'd log into GitHub. I'd copy and paste my cookie, and then I'd run my script with my cookie that's actually from the web browser doing all the stuff rather than an access token. That is my guess on how we would do this. I'm going to double check and see in the request headers, do I see an access token? Because I think it's doing it via cookie. Refer. Okay, this makes me feel not happy about the situation. So see this right here, scoped CSRF token. That could be a bad sign, because that may mean that we have to grab this somehow out of a page load, and maybe one comes back. Do we get a new one? Oh, now you've got my login cookie there. Now I have to log out of GitHub and log back in again. Literally. That's my sign into GitHub. So now that you've seen that, let me go ahead and go to GitHub and log out and log back in. Log out. Delete cookie. Log back in. And where is that at? One three two seven nine five. 132795. There we go. Okay. All right, let me close out of a bunch of this stuff. And I think it would be great if we could jump on Jitsi. I will send you a Jitsi link real quick. If you would be willing to jump on Jitsi with me and just have a little bit of a discussion about how we want to proceed with this, what the end goal is. Because based on the goal and the timeline, right? Because are we setting this up so that once we make the decision to move, boom, we can move? Or is this going to be, we're working some stuff in Trello, working some stuff in GitHub projects and have a slow migration, or what? I need more information to be confident that I go in the right direction. So if you want to pop in, but I'll take a look at this, but we don't have a public API for it. There we go. But that's cool. I really like it. Let's see. Here's something I'm going to try. Let me move this over here and see if this opens up. Okay, it's going to open up over there. I'm going to see if I can add something to the board just by copying a request. Okay, so you're on the Jitsi now. Can you hear me? I don't hear you. Let me try this. Okay, that worked. So I should be able to hear you, and you should be able to hear me. But I do not hear you.
Hello.
Oh, I hear you now. Okay. So we don't have a public API for this, and it's in beta. So that means that the project could go away tomorrow. I doubt that it will. It looks really good. But we don't have we're gonna immediately run into challenges going against a private API. I hear you clicking on stuff. Oh, you're trying to mute me. I can mute myself. Oh, no, you don't want me to mute myself here because you don't want the lag. You want to mute me on the video. Hello to those of you joining in. And if at any point you find this to be either entertaining or useful or you learn something, consider, maybe a little thumbs up. And if not, a little thumbs down. Every thumb helps. And check the description for all the things. Are you ready, Ryan? Are things working for you?
Hey, I can hear you, but what should I mute? YouTube or Jitsi?
Mute YouTube because that is going to be 15 seconds behind, right? Whereas Jitsi is real time.
Okay. Can you hear me now? I've
got I hear you.
YouTube muted.
Good.
All right. So let's discuss. Am I piping through to the YouTube stream?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yep.
All right. So my question is, what's kind of the goal in the timeline? I know you wanted to get an export done by the 14th, but what's the purpose of that? Is this a proof of concept, or is this you want to in 2 weeks be able to start using GitHub projects?
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be all. Just as much as possible, basically. If we get all the way to a full migration where we cut Trello off, great. If not, then it's not the end of the world. But I'd like to at least just get as far as we can. I'm not exactly sure how to answer the question because I'm not sure what we'll run into. If it's something that's like, oh, we've got to figure it out, we've got all the data that we want. At a bare minimum, we'll definitely keep the Trello in an archive so that we can grab extra data later and just add it later. But there's certain data that's kind of required to move forward.
Okay.
And we wouldn't want data in two different places. So we definitely want to have some kind of a cutoff date where Trello is just an archive after X date, but we don't have to have all the data migrated over from Trello into GitHub at that date. Just the data that's really required to move forward. So, let's
define that.
For example, the Trello cards. Everything above the comment section is kind of active project management data, but the comments themselves, we could grab those later if we even want them, which we do if we can get them. And I'm not sure if that data comes over through the export or not.
I think that we did have that. Let me check here. Let's see, check items. Comments. Interesting. Let's find some text with a comment in it real quick, and let's see if we have.
Let's just use the GitHub this GitHub project board since it's relatively small. The card that we're working on actually, because there's not a lot of comments there.
Just noting here. Let's look for that. All right, so... Oops. ID data. I wish I could tell... let's see. So there's boards, there's cards, there's checklists, there's check items, custom fields. We need to... It's a little bit of a tough one because this is so large. I just kind of want to be able to see what the high level is. Actually, I know exactly how to do that. I'm going to use JSON to go.
Yeah,
that's 11 megabytes.
We could also just create a new little GitHub board if you want, or new little Trello board if you want.
Oh wait, there is kind of a Hello World Trello board.
Yeah.
Welcome board. And then this one, let's see if this has comments in it. Comments 0. Everything has comments 0 in here. So if we could do that, that might be good. Let me try just to look at the structure of this data. So JSON to go is a nice tool that Matt Holt made. And it will tell you the structure of JSON pretty succinctly. So you paste real JSON data, and then it gives you back just the structure of it.
Cool.
All right. Cards, checklists, check items, custom fields, labels, lists, stickers, reactions. I'm guessing that this might be maybe it's a reaction. Subscribed, lists, members, membership, cards, actions. Could an action be a comment?
Actions might be like when you check a box, or when you create a task, or you move a task.
Okay.
Or you add a member.
Wait, why is this repeating similar stuff over and over again? Are these subtly different? I wonder if that's a bug. Let me think if there's some tooling I could use to solve this problem. Because basically, I just need to. How do I do? Maybe I could do a code fold. Vim code folding. Or maybe I could do that in VS Code. How to enable and use code folding in Vim. Because, yeah, basically I just want to say, hey, close everything and then just open up the item that matches what I'm searching for.
Yeah, I have it opened up in VS Code, and you can fold it.
Okay,
there.
So can you perhaps... I can open it in VS Code too. I just hate opening VS Code because I've got a bunch of other stuff. Let me see. But that might be the best tool for right now. If I can... Where did it go? Okay. I've got opening over here. I'm going to do new window. All right, so I got a new window. Let me see if I can open it from here. Open.
Or you could maybe just open it in a browser and do the JSON formatter extension on Chrome. Either way.
All right. So wait, you've got folding in yours?
Yes.
Do you know what plugin you use for that?
No, I did save the file, so maybe saving the file does things to it. Hang on, let me see your video again. I have to remember your audio is 15 seconds before your video. So yeah, try saving the file, and then you hover over the left-hand column by the numbers, and you should see some arrows.
I may not have the correct extension installed, which is weird. It says JSON right here. I mean, I would think that would just be default.
Maybe scroll up to the very top.
Oops. If I can ever get there.
Just command up.
Oh, yeah, indeed. Nope, that's not going to help. Whoa, 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 whoa. What are we doing here? How do I close this? Close this. Maybe it's because I don't have it in a project. I don't know. Let me just search for that string again, though. Need to make some migration tests. Because really, I just need to see what group is this part of. So I just need to track until this alignment changes, which could be several thousand lines.
Yeah, that's too bad your VS Code isn't folding. I've folded them all. What you've got at the top level
Actions.
You've got an actions array. You've also got a cards array, and the cards array would probably be the main.
Yeah,
that's the main bulk of the data.
But the comments
actually actions
are under actions.
There are a lot of actions as well. Yeah.
Yeah, actions
that's actually where most of it is
where the comments are. Now we don't have comments in GitHub projects though.
We don't, but we could migrate the comments to something like the discussions or something like that. GitHub discussions.
Let's see.
Or so my vision with this is that each of the cards will probably be an issue, and then the comments could just be comments on the issue. So if you don't know how GitHub Projects Beta works, it's basically kind of like a wrapper around issues. So a project is just pulling in repos, different repos. So you can have a project that spans multiple repos, and you pull them in as issues. So you might have an issue 1 on repo A, and then issue 3 on repo 2, and they're both part of one project.
Okay. Yeah. So. Oh, good. All right. This is great. So it kind of stinks that in order to see more information, you got to open up a completely separate page. But that will work. And if we were to add another item here, this is a big, long item with lots of text and stuff to talk about. And then, yeah, so many things, so great. some checkboxes
So
and more.
again, I'm seeing what you're doing 15 seconds later, but if you want to try, what you do is you convert some of these draft issues into actual issues. That creates an actual GitHub issue, and then what you can do is you can nest issues, and if you do a little checkbox in the first comment on the issue, you can track other issues from issues, so you can have nested issues. And that's how I would see us doing this is we would have a card that would represent what we call a bounty, which is just a collection of tasks. But then those individual tasks that you see on the Trello board, each individual task that's also separated into 4 different lists of concept, specification, production tasks, QA tasks. Each of those would be tracked in an issue. So I don't know if that makes sense, but maybe we can.
Okay, so I think we would basically, if we want to do this, the way that we do it is we import everything into issues with comments. So we do this backwards. We don't create things on the board. Well, not backwards, but
see that little arrow? When you're probably gone from this already, but if you see that little arrow when you hover over a checkbox, you can convert it into an issue.
Yeah, I converted it into issues.
Okay. Yeah, didn't see that yet.
So I don't know where in the arrow area configuration. Let's see, bounty.
Back on the click through to an issue.
Yeah, but now I've already created this as an issue. Oh, cool. Ooh. Can we access this through the API? Because we could maybe just put all the metadata in here. We'll put the comments here. Okay. I definitely think it's doable to migrate things over to issues. I guess we'd have a slush project maybe that is basically the board. And
yes,
we'd create all the issues in the slush project. And then we might just take the manual step of saying, let's see, if I did a view here, if I do a new view, wait, why is it giving me different things for different views? I mean, why is it not giving me different things for different views? It's the same thing. Oh, it's literally a view. It's not.
Yes.
That's cool. That's actually, this is useful. This is different.
Yeah, that's when I saw this coming out, I thought, oh, this is exactly what we need, because I like to project manage as a spreadsheet view, and other people might want to project manage as a Kanban board. But the beauty here is that you can do whatever you want. You can view all the data in many, many different ways.
Yeah, no, this is great. This is great. So let me go back to projects here then. Okay, so let's say I create a new project and we're using beta, and I want to say add issue from a repository. Oh, okay. So here's the part that stinks about this. Is there's not a good way to bulkify. I don't see a way to say, okay, just take this project and bring all of its issues onto the board. But this is the same type of project. So maybe, let me see, GitHub API issues. It looks as though the GraphQL experiment has failed. That makes me happy. When I'm searching for API stuff, I'm noticing fewer and fewer things are showing up as GraphQL. Even GitHub, that was going all in on GraphQL, seems to have abandoned it. It's always nice when people see the light and come to reason. Oh, also, you know what? If we're talking about this problem with the screen sharing lagging,
Yeah.
well, I can just click this button here, and then you can see what everybody on YouTube sees 15 seconds before. Now you see my stuff, right?
I probably will in 15 seconds.
No, on Jitsi.
Oh, on Jitsi. Hang on, let me switch over there. I just see a big fat R circle in the. Okay, let me click on your screen there. Okay, yeah, I see your streaming screen now. Say something so I can see. Okay, yeah. Here.
Yeah, so now
you're moving at the right time now.
Yeah. Oh, and Thilarn says, seems like there's more than usual lag between chat appearing on YouTube chat window versus appearing in the video live stream itself. Okay. Yeah. Well, it just depends on the day, I think. Okay. So if we go here to issues, I'm hoping that I can find that I can add an issue to a project here. Has projects. True. That's not what I want. I want issues. I need to make this wide again so I can actually see this stuff over here. Create an issue, comments, events, labels, milestones, remove a label, create a label. But I don't see the metadata stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was wondering about. That project's the project's API, is it the old projects or is it the new projects? Probably the old. Actually,
yeah, I think it is.
Was it called projects before? Yes, it was.
I don't see anything here about let's see, move a project card. Card moves. I don't see anything here about converting a project card to an issue.
Converting a project card to an issue. That I don't think that statement parses like that.
Projects
are just a compilation of issues.
Well, so here, if I create a new issue, I'm creating a new card, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I can edit this here. This card only exists as a project. Convert to issue. See what I'm saying down here?
Right. So the question is, where is the data before it's an issue? Where does that actually reside in GitHub?
Well, what I'm seeing is that we have projects and then we have cards. And you can get a card and you can see this is get. That's the response. Do we have issue URL on this? Node ID. Patch. Card ID, note, archived. Okay, code samples. Delete. All right, move. Can I move? I can move the position.
Yeah, that seems like it's the old GitHub projects Kanban board API.
but I don't even see a way to do the transfer to issue or convert to issue, which seems that it should be in the old API.
Yeah, maybe. I never used the old API. Never even used the old feature, but if it's not here already, it will be at some point, I'm sure, but that doesn't help us with the migration.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where, yes, we can brute force this. We can not use an API. We could script this inside of a browser. So we can make an Electron app that we import the JSON, and it essentially we could turn this into an automated testing type of thing, almost, where either we puppeteer the browser with say Cypress, or where we just operate inside the browser so that it's getting all the cookies and the tokens. I guess one thing I should try, because this is my fear. My fear is that because it has let me move this window out of the way. I need to move this somewhere else. It had a scoped CSRF token. Typically, every time you do a post, that token changes, and that token is found in the HTML. And so we could go down kind of a dark path where we're trying to extract data that they are exposing in a way that's intended just for them and may not work well. Although GitHub generally stays pretty light on JavaScript, so I would imagine that maybe a dumb system will actually work decently well, because historically they haven't tried to be really clever with the way they do JavaScript. They try to make their app the way that Ruby apps are, where it's mostly back end and there's just a little bit of JavaScript sprinkled on the front end in a progressive web app way of things. So let me see if I can copy. Let's see. I've got this hidden away in my other screen because it's going to show my tokens. But yo. And enter items 201, and let's see what the payload looks like. Draft issue, view source. Okay, so let me see if I can copy as fetch, and then I'll see if I can bring that over to the main screen where everybody can take a look at what we're doing. By the way, to those of you that are joined in, feel free to make comments and ask questions. And as always, we can take a couple minutes. If you got something that's off topic, that's okay. We can take a couple minutes to look a little off topic. All right, I'm going to get rid of this here. We're going to leave the post. We're going to leave credentials include. I'm going to get rid of all of this. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of this. So this is my Memex, and this is me creating a draft issue, and my content is going to be no, and I've got no column values. So let's just see what happens when we reuse the same token that we already had. Because a lot of times what I was saying is this token gets regenerated every single time you go to use it, and you have to figure out how to capture that from where it was before. So do we get lucky? This is good. This is good.
Nice.
So if nothing else, here's another way that I've done this sort of thing before. I want to see what happens if I just eliminate this. I imagine if I eliminate this, it's going to break and it's not going to work. So let's put ho 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 because this is a Santa Claus moment if this allows us to do it anyway. Yeah, failed. All right, that's okay. So at some point, this is probably going to expire. I don't know how many, seconds or usage or whatever. And I don't know how we get a new one. Let me see if I can find this somewhere just by searching through the page and see where it exists. I don't see it anywhere here. Okay, let me try looking through the network tab and see, can we find it anywhere here? Okay, so let me bring this over to the other screen so I don't expose my cookie. Is this in the response or this is in the request? It's in the request. So I don't know how we got it. And it seems that when it's doing it naturally, I think it's using a different one every time. So we're just kind of getting lucky that it didn't get expired, I think. I'm looking down to see, what is this one? This is not a post. This is, I need to show method on these. Post. Let me try one more time. Let me see what I get if I do hey. Does this use the same one or a different one? Request headers has PCB. Okay, cool. So it looks like it actually is using the same token over and over again. So that's really good. If our job is just to do a one-time export and we don't care too much about this being an ongoing task, we just want to create something that will work well enough once, then I say we can probably just take what this is doing, copy the requests individually for every type of action that we want, and then log in the browser so that all the cookie authentication, everything is there, and literally paste the script into the dev tools and let the script run and create all of the issues. And then later on, so let's define what the MVP is. I think it's feasible. From this test, this is feasible that we could do a bulk import from Trello. No matter which way we do it, whether we create the issues first and then we link them, but I can find out what they did here and then I can copy it and replicate it. And so there is a way that is not an astronomical amount of effort. It's a fairly small amount of effort that we can find a batch process. It's probably not going to be a super sweet run this node script. It's going to be open up the browser console and run this script and then copy and paste and run this script. But for just getting things from point A to point B, I think it'll work.
Yeah, I don't know if I would want to call it an MVP, but I would say let's just do it one step at a time and say the first thing that we want to try to accomplish is making a script that pulls from our Trello board, maybe just pulls the card titles or something, and then makes an issue out of each of those card titles.
Okay.
And then the next step would be creating sub-issues within each of those issues to represent tasks on the board.
So when you say sub-issues, do you mean create checklists?
Yes. So when creating a checklist on GitHub, if you create a checklist
meaning that box, you write it in Markdown, you create that box that you can check. If you write that on a GitHub issue as the first comment, then that issue will be tracking the checkboxes that you make as other issues.
Sorry, I missed a little bit of what you said. You said,
okay.
So if we,
So now that I'm synced with you, just go to your GitHub issue or projects again that you were looking at.
oh, hold on.
Your test org and your it wasn't a test org, it was the root
And
company or projects. Yeah. So
one
now
second.
click into that first one.
1 second. Let me just catch up on a couple of comments here. Not very familiar with Trello. Does it say it serve the same type of purpose as GitHub? No, not at all. Trello is an issue tracking / management / burn chart. Trello is Jira Junior. Initial impression is, Asana. Okay. Rake. Yep. Yeah, it doesn't manage the repo, just manages high level stuff. That's correct. Okay.
So just to expound on that a little bit for Marshall. Basically, I think what's happening is GitHub's kind of moving into Trello's territory here. Trello is mostly for project management, or at least project management light. And GitHub is saying, hey, we have the repos. This is where the coders are. Let's bring the project managers here also by creating this new GitHub projects feature. And it's working with me. I want to be there. I want to be in GitHub, not in Trello.
Yep.
I'd rather be there because most of our projects are code projects. So anyway, yeah. So if you click in that first one that's converted to an issue, it takes you to an issue. Now, if you as you hover there, you see that little circle with the arrow to the right. Click that guy and convert stuff to an issue. Now you see what happened on top. There's one of 3 tasks next to the green open button, right under the big title. This is a big long item with lots of text and stuff to talk about. There's a green button that says open. Yeah. Now you see there's those tasks.
Yeah. Well, task was there whether you
tasks was whether there were issues or not, right? But now you've created an issue, and you can see now. Oh, go back there. Go back to there.
Yep.
Now next to that bubble, it says tracked in number 50 up above.
Yep.
So that's what we want to do. Is we'll have an issue that's basically a task tracker. And then each task will be its own issue that's tracked within a different issue.
Okay. So, but do we want? So let's go back to the way that it's presently organized, and let me close out of a couple things here. I'm going to get rid of this. I don't need this. We're just going to get rid of that window. All right, we can leave that open. What was all this? No, I don't need that one. Okay, so here, this I actually don't know how this is being done, but these so concept would be how many layers nested are we gonna go with this?
So first of all, I don't necessarily know if we would track the lists like this in GitHub. The what you're seeing there as concept, specification, production, and QA, those are how we've categorized tasks. But I'm not sure if that's very useful or super useful to us anymore. It might be. But even if it is, we can track that as a tag on the issue. So like each of these tasks that have a checkbox here on Trello, they would be checkboxes in a tracking issue on GitHub. And so each of these tasks, and when I say task, I mean something that has a number parenthesis description, and at the end there's a dash bounty on it.
each of those I'm calling tasks. And right
Okay.
now we have them categorized as specification, production, QA, concept.
So let me capture some information here.
Yeah.
So so task means has a bounty. So this is in the format of one. This needs to get done, and then 1 dash.
Yes, that's the format.
Okay, so that's when we say task, that's what we mean. And so each
I would take
task,
the ex off of there because that's not actually part of the. Just say, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, that makes sense.
For example, or something.
So this then, let's see if this formatting. Yeah, there we go.
There you go. Except for when we transfer it into GitHub, we won't have the manually numbered part of it.
Oh, because
we'll let GitHub do it. We'll let GitHub number the issues.
Yeah, because we can do. I think we can do like this. Let's see if this works out. Let me just see if that works out. It is still. Well, let's see what happens. What this looks like when it's in an issue. Let me move this over to an issue. So, go into stuff here. Junking up my repos. So we can change the order of it, but it does not have a number. If we wanted to number it, then we would
still. So the problem there is that, did you edit the first comment, or is this a new comment? Let me see.
This is not a comment. This is the
body of the issue.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to take those numbers off.
Okay.
Yep.
But then I need to put bullet points.
Yes.
But it's still going to do the same thing.
No, but now they're convertible to issues.
Whereas before they were not convertible to issues?
Right.
When I do like this, they're not convertible?
Right. GitHub's looking for a certain format.
Interesting.
And if you hover over that checkbox item in the WYSIWYG, go to edit again.
Oops. No, stop. All right. And I will, let me catch up on a couple of comments. That's what I was thinking. A bit confused about the project scope. Why move data from Trello to GitHub? Because so GitHub is where developers work. And so if you want there to be a better correspondence between... So you can look at it this way. As the manager, your job is not to make your job easy. Your job is to make the people who you are helping to get their work done easy. So if you're optimizing for yourself, you're not managing very well. So if you're using GitHub, then you're letting the developers have more connection with the code and the problems in the code and the fixes to the code. It's just a more cohesive experience. When you're trying to pull people over to Trello, Trello is not meant for developers. It's not meant for working with code. And so moving from Trello to GitHub is going to make it an easier process to have developers be involved in a project, especially one that they don't have to be involved in. I would say.
Right.
I want to move your.
So it's especially important for a project like the Dash Incubator, where we want to attract developers, but we don't want to have to make them join a different board. We want to meet them where they already are.
Right.
And we also want them to be more actively involved in the project management themselves. So I foresee developers becoming more project managery, or at least having that option.
and it's also about transparency. Like all of the activity of project management is open for anyone to see. That's part of the ethos of the Dash Incubator, is that nothing is done behind some project management wall. It's all out there so that developers who are interested in doing something, they can already see, oh, like, here's a task to be done. And frankly, even as a project manager, I just think that this is a better way to project manage. So
Well, I love.
I like the spreadsheet view.
I absolutely
Trello
love the
doesn't have
spreadsheet
that.
view. Absolutely love the spreadsheet view. This is to me, this is kind of annoying when it comes to Trello, because really, yeah, we should just be able to let's see, can we sort to do in progress? Let me I don't. Yeah, so whatever these are from left to right, that's how you can sort them. So if I sort this like this, and I imagine this would be kind of weird. Can I move this over here? Yeah, so now progress is before to do, which makes no sense. But let me go. Yes, this is what it needs to be. This is smart. The Microsoft people got their ish together on this one.
Yep.
No, this is good. So, you tell me, Marshall, and whoever else is on the stream, what your thoughts are. But from a management perspective, me being a technical manager of a team, this is way better than Trello. And one thing that I don't like about Trello is usually, the way that I've experienced it is that it gets a title that's a high-level title that a manager type person or somebody on the business ends knows what it means. But then when you click into the description, if at best it links to a GitHub issue, and at worst it has somebody's notes to self in it that make no sense. And so only maybe the two people that actually spoke to each other about that thing know what it means. And I've seen this in a couple of different places. So this to me, and being able to sort it, not have to scroll. I hate this about Trello, where you have to scroll in every direction. I have to scroll this way. I have to scroll this way. I have to scroll this way. I have to open this thing up. Now, it is a little bit nice in the sense that it's really quick and easy to just click on any one thing and get the information on it. But I think these are kind of two different mental loads. I'm either coming into this to just generally track progress and burn down, or if I'm going in to look at something specific and really get a handle on it, I don't know that this is really the best format. I don't know that the GitHub issue format is the best format either, but I think that this is a better step in the right direction to say, okay, here we could have an issue. It does maybe kind of stink that now you have to close a tab to get back to your previous view rather than just close a modal.
Yeah.
But, you're talking about a difference of a second. And then I can switch back and forth between these and look at both at the same time, which I think that's a plus overall. So I don't know how everybody's going to feel about it, but I'm.
Well, why don't you click over into the different view, the Kanban board view, and see if it opens in a modal. I'm not sure on that. If you click that,
the drafts do, but issues
don't. Issues do. Okay, well.
Which I think it would be kind of nice if the issues did. Yeah. Well, I think that's what they did before, was they opened in a modal, but whatever. I think this is good. I'm so glad that we went over this, because I didn't really like the previous iteration of GitHub projects. It just didn't hit the mark. And I think that tomorrow, when I'm at work, I think that I want to show other people this, because I think this is a tool that other people who are not necessarily in the dev team could actually get on board with. And I think the spreadsheet view is what kills it. Can we have multiple assignees on something too? We can. Look at that. This is great. This is awesome.
Yep. Yeah, it's really good. So if you also just take a look at your URL bar.
Milestones too. This is just so awesome. Can we create a milestone? Or we have to convert to an issue to. to edit this cell. Let me check on this one. Okay, but then we got to go somewhere else to add the milestones, which is kind of annoying, but whatever. Okay, what'd you say?
Look at the URL.
Up here?
Yeah. So you see the query parameters. That's because you got all that junk in the URL because of the way you've laid it out. But what you can do is you can click the drop down next to view 1, and you can save that as a specific view.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, AJ's view or something.
So we could say burn down. We could have this one could be feature complete. I don't know if those even make sense, but so one of them we can be looking at it in terms of where is it at in the status. Another one we could be looking at in terms of, what do we call it? Something load, like human load, like who's most loaded or something. We have another one that says, big ticket, find out which ones have the largest bounties.
Yeah, you can sort by bounty if you want. You can also group by things.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if you click any column, you can group by it, group by status. Click the drop down. There you go.
Ooh.
And to answer Marshall's question that he just raised, I watched a video where they were saying that they do intend to bring in a Gantt type view as well, timeline. I think they'll probably call it timeline or something, where it shows.
Has a Gantt chart ever helped anyone?
I think it's useful. Yeah, because it can kind of show like, okay, these are the things that we need to do for this feature, and this is where the overlap is, and this is where one depends on another, so it can't start until the other one finishes. That kind of stuff, I think, is pretty useful. But yeah, they don't have that now, obviously. But I think they do plan on that's been a big feature request for them.
Well, this is, to me, this seems really cool. Can I group by? Yeah, this is great. We can see what's assigned. This is awesome. I can get behind this. I've hated Trello. It just makes no sense to me. It seems so disorganized. There's always hundreds of items across dozens of columns. I just, I don't know how anybody, I really don't. Jira and Trello to me make, if it was a whiteboard, maybe. If it was actually a whiteboard where you could physically interact with it and actually move things around and have, but this does not give me any meaningful visibility. This is the wrong kind of skeuomorphic.
Yeah, well, it doesn't even answer the most basic question. Like the most basic question that somebody might be interested in as a developer might be like, what tasks are assigned to me?
And that's so hard. Well, you can click on your name. Nope, you can't click on your name. You can click on You can click on cards assigned to me. You can do that.
Cards assigned to me, but that's not tasks assigned to me.
Ah.
Yeah, cards assigned to me is different. That's the project manager. That's why you don't have any. If you do cards, if I did that, I'd see all the cards that, have my little circle face on it. And those are the projects that I'm managing.
Right.
But that doesn't, if you're a developer, you want to be able to see what are my open bounties.
Right.
You can't see that.
Okay, so let's define. If I have another 3-hour block to work on this week, and I just want to pound this out. Like I've got the big picture. I'm bought into the vision. Personally, I'm bought into the vision, and I have verified that we've got 3 or 4 different ways to access this information. I'm confident that we can have something that for a one-shot process, that's an import process that maybe we repeat a couple times for testing, but really the result of this is not an API service. The result of this is we're going to run a script and it's going to do the junk, and we just need to make sure that everything comes over. So we've got cards, and then we've got tasks, and then we've got, what else do we have?
Comments.
And comments, do these belong? This is I'm trying to understand the hierarchy here. Let's go back to the GitHub bit. All right, so this is the value. These. What is this thing called? The concept and specification. I know we don't really care about that much, but they're everywhere.
It's the life cycle of a project. So click out of here for a minute, just so I can show you real quick what the life cycle is.
Okay.
Life cycle. Scroll left. The life cycle is if somebody thinks of a new idea that might be interesting for Dash, they click on the request new concept. They click on that, and then they just fill out these little things like, here's the title, here's the value proposition, and then anybody can do that. Anybody can propose. In fact, you'll see if you scroll down, you'll see me proposing GitHub on Incubator on GitHub. You'll also see my proposal to make the payments integration that you and I did. So this is how projects start. You should probably read this to get a high level, concept of what we're trying to accomplish and why. At some point, it's linked to from the other card that we were looking at, by the way.
Okay.
So anyway, people fill this out, and then an admin, what we call an admin, which is just a project manager, essentially. They come in, they say, hey, that's a great idea, let's do it. Then they make a card out of it. And that's where that's where these cards come from. So now if you click back out of here.
Okay. Let's see if I can get out of here. This seems a little bit weird. This seems multiplexed. Way too many things.
It's not great, but it's what we did.
Okay.
So anyway, go back to the Incubator on GitHub card. See what you have to do. you have to search for it every time. That's
this is every time I use Trello, this is my experience, is that I can never find things that are relevant.
Yeah. Anyway, so then the first thing that's done is that, okay, it's a valid concept. That means that a project manager has accepted this as a valid concept, and then somebody gets paid 0.5 Dash for creating that concept that we were just looking at. And then the next step is like, let's specify the project. And then production is basically implementation. Let's implement the project. And then QA is let's review the thing and see if the implementation matched the specification, that kind of stuff. It doesn't always work out like that. There's no bright lines that say this is implementation, this is specification, this is, so I don't know if they're extremely valuable, because it takes project management thought cycles to say, okay, this is a specification task or something like that.
It's got key bindings. My text editor key binding, or it's got its own special key bindings.
So anyway, that's just describing the different ways that we've categorized tasks, but there's not much beyond the fact that there's not much beyond that. Like there's no difference beyond how they're displayed between a specification task and a production task.
Okay. but I am a little confused. I don't understand conceptually how this was created. Is this a header, and then this is a list under the header, and then this is, or
Scroll up. I'll show you. Oh, you don't see them, but in the actions column, for somebody like me that has write privileges, I have a option there to say create new list or something.
Okay, so this is the name of the list.
It's the name of the list.
A list in the name of the list.
It's not something that's native to Trello. It's something that we do as the Dash incubator. We make these checklists themselves are native to Trello, but the name production is not.
Right. Yeah, I get that. So checklist is a thing. Checklist has stuff in it. Got it. Okay, I'm on board. So I get that. So we want to turn each card into an issue, right?
Yes.
Okay. We want to create an issue for each checkbox.
Yes. That would be tracked in the other issue.
Right. So we yeah. I'll have to. I think we're going to have to do a fair amount of this in the browser, and it's going to take some experimentation, but it probably won't be too bad. Let me just look in the browser real quick right now if I can get back to. I got too many things open as always. Oh, take a look at that maybe too. Okay, let's get out of there. Edit. I'm just going to say deleted. Test issue for GH projects. Just because this is actually I should probably have picked a stupider project, I guess. I don't know. Because now I've created dummy projects that people are getting notified about. Not very many people, just one.
Yeah, that was my DM that I said, we can use this Dash testing repo if you want, or organization to do all this testing. But you decided to just do it on your own, which is fine.
Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely give me some permissions on that, because I will do that one next when I start to test the script. I'll just create a repo and load it up with stuff, I guess. All right, so if I'm watching in the console in my other window right now, and I'm going to check to see what happens when I click convert to issue, because I don't know how it manages. First, I'm going to click the checkbox. Let me just see what happens there. Oh, that was a whole lot of things happened. Stats. Hydro event. Hover card. Issue. Originating URL. It's literally analytics. Okay, this is updating the issue, and the payload. It looks like it's just updating. Okay, it's got metadata. I think I can bring this over. I don't think there's authenticity token. Do I need to hide that? I probably do. Maybe I can, whatever. So it's got information. It basically is saying what index was just checked is what it's doing. It's amazing how many things are loading. It's 10 different things. I think it actually is refreshing the page. I think we don't see it. But it actually refreshed the page. So this is not as JavaScripty. It's just doing, I think it's doing a full reload or some. Anyway, doesn't matter.
I didn't see it reload, but.
Well, watch this. You won't see it because you only have so many frames per second, but it reloaded the page. There was a flash of my user image.
Doesn't it usually flash the reload icon on your browser if it's doing that. It's it turns into an X really quickly.
That is true. I don't know. Maybe it's one of those service worker things, or maybe, but it's loading a lot of stuff. It's not sending JSON. It is. Anyway, let me just click the convert to issue button and let's see what happens here. I want to save that one for later. Okay, issues, post.
Yeah, it's creating an issue.
And I wonder how are we going to track this? Authenticity token, issue, title, convert from task, true, ID, position. Got it. And then what if we look at this again? Number 52. So it posts it and converts it. Got it. I understand what it's doing. Okay. And I can do that with the API. I don't have to do that part in the browser. So yeah, we can mix and match this, because all I have to do to link issues together is just put the number next to the checkbox. Okay, cool. So I got that part down.
So what you just said there is, if you create a comment that has a checkbox, that text that creates a checkbox with a number 52, you think that will link to an issue?
Absolutely. Watch this. We'll do it right here. We'll do number 50.
Oh, and it helps you with the UI there.
See, and then if we go over here, now it says tracked in.
Cool.
Which that's kind of recursive because they both are tracked in each other. I wonder how.
One's tracking and one's tracking. Oh, the way that you made it is that.
Well, it's
interesting. Interesting that it let you do that.
Yeah. Well, it has to, because this is just text. It's just markdown. All right. And then is there a way for me to... Oh, okay. Let's see if I can track this in a project. Okay, I clicked track in project. I did not see any network activity. Can I untrack? Okay. Mimics project column values. Oh, it's when I click off of it that it updates. Well, I don't know what these values mean, but I can figure it out. Yeah, so I think we'll create the leaf nodes first. So we'll create tasks as issues, then we'll go up and we'll create the issues that contain those tasks, and then we will maybe manually create a project for them, and then bring in all of those issues into the project.
Yeah. Go back to the Trello board real quick. I want to just show you one thing that might be relevant to this discussion.
Okay.
If you click out of here, we have this concept of, you see the specification column, the projects column, the services. Scroll over. There's also this programs column, and the idea with programs, which is spelled wrong because it's not American English. I'm just kidding. The idea with programs is that they're basically like a collection of cards. So it would be cool if whatever we end up making, it's in theory at least infinitely uh not recursive, but like you can have the most fundamental unit of work is a task, and then those can be combined into what we see as a card and what we call a bounty. I know it's a weird term to call it because usually the bounty just means the price tag that's on it, but we call these cards, we call them bounties, just so you know. But so these little tasks can be bundled together into a card. And the idea with the programs is that the cards could be bundled up into a program. So like the Dash Pay extension, for example, really that's a project with many different bounties, many different cards, and we're trying to track it that way. So it'd be nice in GitHub. We're doing it in a really janky way here on Trello. But on GitHub, it would be as easy as you have a certain issue that's tracking many different issues. And then it could be 3 levels deep. You see what I'm saying? Like a task is an issue, but a collection of tasks is also an issue. And a collection of issues is also an issue. So that first thing is a task. The second level is a what we call a bounty and what you see as a card. The third level is a collection of cards, which we call a program.
So
I'm just pointing out that I
so
think
this
is a
this is a special column. So in terms of import, are we treating this as a special column?
I think in terms of import, we just want to tag this as being in the programs column. It could just be a piece of metadata. These get moved around a lot. So once we move over and migrate to GitHub, that metadata will have to be able to change, just like we're able to move them around from column to column. Because, it's just like if you go back to a project, it's just like the concept of, to do, completed, in specification, reviewing, It's the same concept. Those certain project can move between being specified and being implemented.
Okay, so let's go back here to projects beta. So do we want
basically we'd have a column for programs.
We'd want a column for programs.
Well, the easy way to do this would be,
do we want to replicate all of the columns?
That's what I was just going to say, is the easy way is to just replicate it exactly. But that's a little bit of a simplified picture of what I want to do, because I don't necessarily agree with the naming convention that we've got right now. And maybe not even, it might not even be helpful to have these categories. That's a different discussion that we should probably have maybe offline. But, the way that we're doing it, I don't know if it's optimal. I think it might be more of it's more of an artifact of how Trello works. And we just kind of conformed, we're supposed to have columns. Let's create some columns. But in reality, it might not be like the delineation between services and jobs and programs might not be as important as some other delineation that should command the column view, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because these look more like categories than the Kanban idea of to do, in progress, done. These are categories of things. And the categories of thing...
It's partly a category and it's partly a status. And that we should probably fix that.
So, but in terms of an import export or an export import, what I want to know is what do you want to be replicated? Because if what we want to do is replicate this same thing, so we want to have this many columns wide. I guess I just need you to tell me what
I need
behavior
to specify it.
Yeah, but I think I've got enough information now and enough understanding to see how we want to represent this. And it looks like we don't have to worry much about any of these links. They're just links.
Yeah. These links are important. These comments are important. They show the history. But like I said earlier, these are static. They shouldn't be changing. People do edit comments a little bit, but we can pull these comments in later. Is what I'm trying to say.
Well, I'd be happy to pull them in at the time that we do it. So what's going to happen, this is a little bit weird because half of this we have to do in the browser. So I have to break this up into tasks of first, we're going to create a project where we're going to dump all issues. So this project is going to have literally, I guess everything that has a checkbox on it, we're going to just create the issue closed. And every issue that we create, we have to save the issue ID. So I'm going to go through basically hundreds of leaf nodes, create hundreds of issues, and close some of them based on whether they're closed here. Mm-hmm. And the only thing that's going to be in the issue is the title. There's not going to be any text in the issue for all the things that are the checkbox things. So this is an issue, this is an issue, this is an issue, this is an issue. And then there's going to be this whole thing is an issue. So there's not going to be any information in this issue other than that. Maybe I can find a way to assign the dash to it. I don't know.
Yeah, that import script that you looked at the very beginning, that does that parsing.
Yeah, so the parsing isn't as much a problem as it is that let's say that I create this node script and it creates all the issues. Well, now I have to save all of the IDs of the issue to a file. So I have to have a corresponding of this checklist ID corresponds to this issue ID. And they're linked together. And then I have to pull that information out, and then I have to go into the browser, and then I have to use the things that are not available in the API.
Right.
Which the ability to add the dash is not available in the API. So it's not that I can't do it, it's just that I have to figure out how I'm going to link up all these things. And then I'm going to copy all the data into the browser, and then I'm going to run another script, and it's going to look up the stuff that I linked up in the previous process. So we have a multi-stage process here. And what about this custom field stuff? Is there anything that I should make of this at this time? Do we have a list of custom fields? It looks like we had about 10 of them in the previous script. Mm-hmm. Should I be creating fields and then trying to link the same information back over so that we have a rating in our column over here?
That would be something that we would do as a refinement to the script. It's not something that we should get bogged down on right away. But one of the most important things in that metadata in those custom fields is the primary and secondary admins. It doesn't have primary on here, actually. It's just the secondary admin. The primary admin is this member, the members up here.
All right.
Wow.
And we need to have some. This is something where it gets a little bit weird. If you can give me the list of people, let's see. Wait, what is this?
It's on there. The list of people.
I mean, in GitHub, if you can give me the
Oh,
list of.
I don't have. Most of these people aren't in GitHub yet.
Okay.
So we would just have it be metadata that's not necessarily an actual GitHub user at this point.
Okay. If
At a later point, we would want to convert that to actual GitHub users.
So what we would need, I think this would be easier if we could do a fair amount of it ahead of time. But how many members would we have to say go give me your GitHub username in order to do this?
So right there, that
146.
Yep, right there. Well, 146 plus 5, I guess.
Okay, 151. So maybe send out that email to those people and just say, hey, go click this thing and create a username and let me know what it is.
Yeah, like I said, I probably, I will do that at some point, but most of these people are, they tried it out for a while. They're not active anymore. So that's going to be a lot of work. That's manual work for me to do. That's not something that you probably need to worry about. I think what you need to worry about is bringing in the username, the Trello username, and assigning that to a column, which is custom data, custom field on the metadata on the GitHub issue.
Okay. All right. So again, one more time, let's clarify, and then maybe we can call this a night. Oh, hey, Johannes, welcome. I'm going to create 2 scripts. One of them is going to create issues using the official API and is going to post pretty much just titles for tasks, or sorry, I forget which, tasks, and then creating a parent issue after, so all of the issues will have reverse numbers on them. That'll be interesting because the numbers will go down instead of up. But the parent issue will contain all the tasks as its body, as well as it'll have its title. We don't need to bring over comments right now, but we could if we wanted to, if it's simple enough to do, if we've got some extra time. We are going to then, that's pretty much the whole of the first script. It's saving the IDs to relate between checklist items as GitHub issues and Trello cards as GitHub issues. And then the second script is going to run in the browser. We're going to probably just manually create a certain number of custom fields, and then we're going to go through each issue that is a card, and we're going to attach custom fields from Trello into the GitHub issue. That is the scope of the project right now. Am I missing anything?
No, that's a great place to start.
Okay, cool. Well then, yeah, I think if I spend a good 3-4 hours on this, I'll make some good headway. I don't know if I'm going to have to wait until Saturday to do that. I don't think I can do this tomorrow. Thursday I can't do it. Wednesday maybe. And Friday is probably a no. So either Wednesday or Saturday is the next day I think I can work on this.
Okay, I'll take Wednesday.
You're aggressive. All right. Cool. Well, then, are we good to call this a night then?
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Okay.
Good progress.
It's a pleasure. Okay. Well, then, great. This is awesome. I know what to do. Huzzah. For everybody that joined in, again, thanks for the comments. Sorry I wasn't as responsive to comments today because we patched in Ryan on these things. But if this was interesting to you, if it was useful, if it was entertaining, any of those things, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Share with somebody that you like. We're trying to get up to an average of 10 Twitch viewers at a time, because I'm totally being a what's the word they have for it? We used to call it whipped. What do they call it now? A simp? I'm becoming a simp to Twitch. I'm probably using these terms all the wrong way. But if you want to sub, and I of course join the Discord if you're interested in asking questions or making topic suggestions. I'll drop another link to the Discord, and I will catch y'all later. So, oops, there's Discord. So y'all have a good one. Adios.